Hey, peace and love. Welcome to our channel, Flowing and Growing with Sister Nzinga, where our platform is to think. It ain't illegal yet. We've created an acronym for the word think, which is taking hold of and implementing new knowledge. Taking hold of and implementing new knowledge. But our purpose is to emancipate ourselves from mental slavery. So thank you again for joining us. Please like our channel. Please share our channel and definitely subscribe. And in our comments, we want to ask you to think about the acronym, taking hold of and implementing new knowledge. So whether it's something that you learned from me today or either something that you learned from someplace else, put whatever comment you'd like to have, but include in your comment also something that you have taken hold of and implemented because it was some new knowledge to you. Okay? So thank you for joining me. This is the 5th video, I think. And, we've been trying to put it together. And, again, I'm new to this, so excuse me for all the little errors that I'm coming across. But I'm determined, because Spirit said this is something I must do, is to share the information that I've been given and that I've researched and found out. So, because each one teach one, we must share. And it's what we must do to bring up somebody else, bring forward this new revolution of who we are, and being able to live in this world a little more peacefully and full of joy. So we're still in the new process of kind of getting everything together, and I guess I'm moving a little bit because I'm sitting in a swing. This is fun. So anyway, yeah. So thanks again for tuning into our channel. So we've been putting things together, and I just kind of really have been just taking things off my hip, just thinking about different things that I could share with everybody. But now that I'm continuing to working on this project, that I think I would like to make it a little more organized, and I'm going to, each month I'm going to have a subject, and so there's usually 4 to 5 weeks, per month, and then what I will do is talk about that subject, but different aspects of it within the videos that we'll be presenting on every Tuesday, which is our Talk About It Tuesdays. Okay, how's that sound? Okay, so what I'm going to do today is talk about like, how did we get here? How do we get in this situation that we find ourselves in today? And I hope that you know that you are in a situation that we are at war, because this shit is real. This is real. So we're going to talk about from enslavement to us working on emancipating ourselves to be free in our minds, body, and souls, because we're no longer enchained. But we still have mental slavery going on, so there's still slavery got a new face to it. No longer we have to put those. I don't want to talk about the way they treated us back then with the shackles and so forth, which is disgusting. But what's happening now? Even though those things happened back then, and now we're not there, but the problem that we're having with this mental slavery is lasting longer, and it's being passed on to generations. So it's worse. It's not better. We're not in a better place because we can live, amongst them, and because we can have cars and houses and this and that material things that other people have. It's not worse because the mentality of us, it's still overwhelming, and it's depressing. And the worst part about it is that some of the people don't realize that they are enslaved, and will tell you that, oh no, everything is fine. But we as a people are still in a mental slavery. This institution of this government that we're under has everyone, not even people in this country, because people look up to America and they do what America does. So this mental slavery, it's worldwide, and it's getting out of hand. So we got to stand up and start making the change. We have to start thinking, because it ain't illegal yet. And you hear me saying yet? Because a lot of shit has been made illegal. The way for us raising our children, beating their behinds, not beating them, but spanking them, correcting them, and, doing things like that. These things are illegal. It's illegal to praise God, in the schools. That's illegal. So, anyway, we're going to stay on the subject because I just like to talk. And I just bring it all. But today we're going to talk about how do we get here. And so, looking at, us as a people, we were enslaved. And of course, there's mixed stories about how we got here, who helped to get us here, and so forth, and that kind of thing. But the fact is that we were enslaved and we were brought here, because you do know that there were other people that were enslaved. What they were called more servitude, but we were enslaved for free labor. These people were put in servitude type positions, but we were definitely enslaved. We didn't have any choice to either to cooperate, or several times, your thing was to die, to be killed. So then we got our so-called freedom. Okay, but then you do know that back in many years ago, when they said that that we were, as a people, that we were slaves, there was going to be no more slavery. Only the word didn't get to everybody in America, and so when the word finally got down to, I think it was down more in the southern part, that that the African people were free. That's when it became official, and thus we have this celebration called Juneteenth. Okay, so hopefully you know about Juneteenth. If you have not heard about Juneteenth, please look that up. Juneteenth. It's a celebration for us that talks about the slavery of us as people when we were so-called emancipated. But then back then we got our so-called freedom, but we were promised 40 acres and a mule. So now, okay, fine, you're free. Now you can live on your own. Give me some resources so I can survive, so things could be competitive, so I can grow my food, or some cattle, or do something so I can be able to create an income, have some resources. But we didn't get that. But thank God there were some of us that had value and had money, and we had places like the Black Wall Street, that was in different places, in the West. But Black Wall Street, I'm sure you know about those too. I hope you know about those things. Look those up. Black Wall Street. We were doing very well. We were doing well for ourselves. We had our own doctors, our own bankers, our own lawyers, everything. And what happened? They came and just burnt our shit down. More than once, because we did it twice. And correct me if I'm wrong. I do know there was two different places where we had our own everything, and they came and burnt it down. I mean, can you imagine that? How you could be free and you're fine now. You're living your life. You ain't bothering them. You having your own resources, your own bank, and your own this and that. But they didn't want that. They still want us to be under their thumb, under their control. That's what it is. It's the control. And so they came and they burnt us down. But despite all that, look at us still. We're still surviving, because we are very resilient people. We are very resilient people. So later on, after that happened, and we continued to do what we needed to do. But during those times, there were things, so-called freedom, but we had to only could eat at certain places. We had to go into the back doors if we wanted to go into certain buildings. Well, thank God we were able to read, but then it was situations about, us educating ourselves. There were still rules and regulations about that didn't apply to other people, but that only applied to us. And so how free are you if you got to tell me that, I can only do this, I can only do that? So, but anyway, it became an issue of the have and the have-nots. And so certain people would just kind of go along with the things that they were offered, because, like I said, back in the day, if you didn't abide by their rules and follow along with their things, it was that or either death. And so people just agreed to just kind of go along to get along. So we continue to thrive, still under their thumb, under their direction, under their control of how we could do the things that we wanted to do. But hence we survived, because God knows that we are the chosen people. We're special. And the thing about it, they know it too. They know it too. And they know that we're the original man and woman, because we are all over the earth. We didn't just come just from Africa. We have covered this earth and many times, and hence that's how we have all these different people with different complexions and different hair types and things, because we travel to different places, and because of the weather and the conditions in those areas, then we had certain our hair was a certain way, and our nose structure was a certain way, because when we went into cold water, the people there, the noses were a little more confined. So all these people come from us, but I don't want that to be the lesson today. Just trying to stay on this subject of how did we get here. Okay, so like I said, it became an issue of the have and the have-nots. And so some people did still have to go back into being servitudes, because they were quote-unquote free, but the only jobs that they could get was to be able to wait on white folks, to clean for them, to cook for them, to raise their babies, servitude-type jobs. And then during that time, as they continued to educate us, well, not educate us, when they continued to miseducate us, they was teaching us that things about us was not good. Our complexion wasn't good. Our big behinds wasn't good. The beautiful clothing that we used to wear wasn't good. And so we start, going away from all those things. So we just left those things aside because we wanted to fit in. And so we start doing things to imitate them, thinking that, that if we look like them or act like them or have some of the possessions that they have, then think that we would be okay, that it makes us a better person. But, that's the furthest from the truth. So we were taught just so many things about us was just not good. And it's just lies. It continues to be that. Even the words that were created, the word black. And I want to talk about this one thing because I'm trying to stay on my subject. But if there's a thing called the Law Dictionary. And if you're looking at Law Dictionary, this was the original meaning of words. And the word black doesn't mean black. But they made black, the black cat, black, what's all those these things are coming to me. But it's when you go to a funeral, we're all black. And traditionally, no. What we used to do, we used to wear white because we know this is a celebration of someone's life, and we wanted to bring that light forth to celebrate that person, so their spirit will move on. So the play in the words is just a whole other long conversation. I know another channel, but we're going to get to some of all that stuff here. We're going to get to all that stuff there. So again, they were telling us the things that we did and how we did things was wrong. But we are the ones who really started inventing things because with the resources that we had. Do you know that we were the ones who invented the elevator? We invented the shoelace. We invented the washing machine. We invented the mop. We invented, we built the White House. We built the White House. And then they called it the White House. Ain't that something? For all the labor that we put in it. It should at least been called the Black House. But anyway, that's called the White House. And so it's not that we are uneducated. We are miseducated and are not given the resources that we need for us to be able to do things. Because even still now, it was a sister that, I think it was a sister, yeah, that invented the cell phone. And the thing, there's a mineral that's in the earth that is mostly in Africa and that's used to make the cell phones work. And it comes out of the land of Africa. So there are so many things that we are responsible for. But back in the day, we used to invent these things, but they would not let us go into the places that we need to do so we can register it and things. We would show it and share it with someone, and then that someone would just take it, put their name on it, and act like we didn't even exist. So it's not that we are uneducated and that we're not intelligent. It's just that we have been miseducated and we're not fairly given resources for us to survive and to compete in this world today. Because we used to invent cars. There's a person, a little boy in Africa that invented a car. He created a car out of scraps and things like that. So we are very intelligent and creative people. So, but we had to go along during that time because we wanted to fit in because, of course, sometimes it depended on our life or death. We had to just go along to get along. And of course, back then they gave us the white Jesus, and they only gave us parts of the Bible that they wanted us to know. But we do know now there's other versions other than the King James version, and we do know that many of the stories that's in the Bible, they're talking about us. They're talking about us. So I was saying that they still give us the white Jesus way back then, and we know that he was painted by Michelangelo, who was the guy who was commissioned to paint this picture of Jesus. He used his relative, and so we do know that according to the Bible, and this is in all of them, all the versions, but not the King James version, all of them. It states that we are. There was a person of a bronze-colored skin and coarse hair. So we know these things, but we still see. This is the stuff that I'm talking about. The think it ain't illegal yet, because we haven't taken that information. We haven't taken hold of that information, and we have not implemented it. We know that these things, but we just kind of just let these things exist and we act like those things don't exist. And as long as we keep acting like these things don't exist, then we're going to continue to be in the situation that we're in today. We must take a stand. So again, they've put us in so much fear that if you do this, this is going to happen. They create scenarios and say that they create a problem, and then they try to give you, oh, here's the solution, when they know they created the damn problem in the first place, and then they want to be the little holy saviors, and then they want to have the solutions. And so in doing this, they have given us so much miseducation that sometimes it's hard to believe the truth. It's hard to believe the truth because you was like, oh, this is so far-fetched. And people who are educating themselves and of them own selves and of our true history, sometimes they speak with passion. I know that I do. And it's taken as, that's where they got this thing about the angry black woman. Because when we talk about shit, it's like, well, let me tell you, we like, and yeah, because we're trying to bring this forth through because we're frustrated. Like, how the hell can you just continue to continue to lie to these people? Lie to ourselves and now we're lying to ourselves. And then when we're trying to bring somebody forth and try to show them something, they don't want to hear it. That's what then it's a little joke, but the shit is not really funny. Because they say, the white man. If you hear it from the white man, then you'll listen to it. So sometimes, when I find things that I'm posting and this white man is coming forth and bringing the truth, I'll put it on my page. Because I said, maybe you ain't going to listen to me, but maybe you'll listen to the white man. So, but what I want us to understand and think about all the things they did. As an example, we're talking about this is something that just really bothers me. This is the Tuskegee Experiment. Well, sometimes tongue twisters. The Tuskegee, because this ain't my language, so sometimes I don't get it right. And I just use words as long as you know what I'm talking about. And some people be acting like, oh my God, why you talk like that? Okay, because this ain't my language. As long as you understand what I'm saying, okay, you get the point. But anyway, so Tuskegee Experiment, you know about that? How they gave these men these drugs, this disease actually, and they just want to see what would happen. And they act like they were telling them they was giving them medication, but they weren't. All they was doing was just testing on them to see what would be the reaction and how this syphilis would affect the body, and how they even gave the Indians what did they give them, yellow fever or they gave them some blankets, supposed to be keeping them warm, and it had some type of disease in it. They have done so much. How they have given, say they tell the children in Africa how they're supposed to be immunizing them against something, and what they're doing when they were making the women, they were making the women so they couldn't bear any children anymore. It says so many things that they have done. It's like, isn't that unbelievable to you, all the stuff that we've done? And so what we need to understand is that these people over the time, from the 1800s or wherever this mess all started, up until now in the 20s, in the 2022, you still see this is the same people. These are the same families. So people say, okay, well, I can't be responsible because I'm not the one who did that, 200 years ago, 400 years ago. Yes, but your ancestors did, and you're still benefiting from it. You're still benefiting. So we must understand that these are the same families of people. So the same way that that we pass on things amongst our families, they pass on things amongst their families too. And so this thing about hating black people and treating black people a certain way, because you see, because look at the brother the brother Ahmad. This man was just running down the street exercising. He lived in that community, but there are some white people that was like, oh no, look at this nigga in our neighborhood, we can't have this. And they actually sought out to get him and to kill him, and they did. That happened about 2 years ago. So still, guys, this is what I'm saying. This shit ain't going nowhere. So we have to open up our eyes and see that these people that we're dealing with are the same people, or the ancestors, or the generations of people that have come from way back then. So you have to be careful about who your doctor is, who your dentist is, and be worried about who are these people. Are these people really in your corner? Are they really trying to help you and giving you these services? Are they just sliding things in that you don't know that's affecting you in a bad way? We have to really be careful. Who's the people when you go to the corner stores? Because you go in, when the situation in Starbucks, that somebody was saying, why are they sitting in Starbucks? How many people go to Starbucks just kind of hang out? You bring your laptop there, or if you got a little meeting going on, you come and you bring 3, 4, 5 people, and you sit there and you have a meeting, you guys talk about whatever. But this happened just a couple years ago too. That these people was like saying, no, this is what we do, but no, you black, you can't come here and just sit here. You can't sit here and just sit on your laptop. You can't just sit here and you can't have no meeting here. So y'all, this shit ain't going nowhere. And these are the children of these people. So we still have to understand the folks that we're around, we go to school with, we work with, and the ones who's running this government are still the ancestors of these same people. Because again, like one thing, I want you to look this up. They said Obama was the first black president. He was not the first black president. Look up, there's a book called Five Black Presidents. Five Black Presidents. Five Black Presidents, excuse me. And yes, there's a book called it's Five Black Presidents. And so there were people who had, black in them because according to their rule, if you got a certain percentage of black, then you black. Like George Washington, he has ancestors because he had sex with a black woman. He has some children that are black. I mean, so again, that's another thing. Look it up. Five black presidents. So Obama was not the first black president, but they still want to tell us that he was the first black president. That's lying to me in my damn face and lying to the world. So again, these are the same people. So what we must think about, when I said think, it ain't illegal yet. Again, I want to continue to say that these are the same families of the same people. So here it is. These people are the ones who brought us over here, who enslaved us, who has lied to us, who is making us think that everything that's wrong with us is everything that's good about us is wrong with us. That these people are the same people that we go to now that's running our government, who are making decisions for us, who are our doctors, who are our lawyers, and so forth. These are the same people that we're in today. So I want you to think about that. Think. It ain't illegal yet. So please share this video. Please comment on it. Give me a thumbs up. And again, next week we're going to be talking about. I didn't get into that yet. Next month, I should say, for February, we're going to be talking about self-care and self-love. And so I will be bringing up topics about those particular items each week on our Talk About It Tuesday. So again, thank you so much, and thank you for those people who have subscribed. I will be adding you to my Facebook page, and that was a place that it's a private group page where we'll be able to talk about things. We can ask questions. You can bring information to me. I'm going to be sharing certain videos with people because you don't have to just listen to me. There are other people who are bringing this message and are just as knowledgeable about things, and sometimes more knowledgeable about certain areas even than I am. So I will be also sharing things down in the comment section and description about things, another video that you could use to maybe talk about the same subject that I'm talking about. So again, I want to thank you today. So today's message is what we're talking about was how do we get here? How do we get here? Okay, and now looking at what we can do to make some changes in our life, because we must understand that we must think, because it ain't illegal yet. We must take hold of and implement new knowledge. So we must know that we got here. So I just talked about how we got here, and now that we're here, we must be aware and awoke and know that these are the same people, same families, same lineage of people who is running these things right now. Oh, another thing I want to talk about too before I go is this marijuana thing. They talk about they want to make marijuana legal. I mean, people have the different opinions about it. We're not going to talk about that. But again, that is something that they have locked up our sisters and brothers so many years. And right now, you get more time for marijuana than you do get for cocaine, which is crazy as hell. Cocaine is a serious drug, but that's the laws. And like I said, because these are the same people who would make a law like that, just because you got a couple joints on you, and then if you got the low violent cocaine is much more detrimental to you than marijuana is. But the law is that if you get caught with marijuana, you get some serious time. If you get caught with cocaine, the offense and the time that you have to put in, that you have to be locked up for, is not the same. So, but the point that I want to make is that they still haven't released all our sisters and brothers that are in for like minor offenses. And if we look at it now, it's even hard to get into. So these people that have been selling marijuana for years and years and years, who have been profiting of it, and they've been locking up about it, so they're not giving them the fair opportunities. Because right now, I just watched this documentary about that the legalization of marijuana is the people who are able to have these these shops selling it and so forth, that it's 80% of them is owned by white men, and there's rules saying that you have to have a certain amount of, you could only buy a certain amount of acreage. Now, but so what they did was they bought under different names. They bought I don't know how many exactly it is, 5 acres, another 5 acres, another 5 acres, another 5 acres. It got to the point that they are still controlling it 80%. It's because they want to make the money off of it. So again, that's something that we were doing. And then I can also bring up this subject that we used to have numbers. I don't know if you guys are old enough to know that there was this thing called our parents used to run numbers. which was very similar to the lottery. There was a number. I don't know how they picked the number, but somebody used to pick the number, and you got paid for it. It's the same thing. They put us out of business and said we were doing things that wasn't right, and we got arrested for that too. And now what they got? The lottery. I mean, come on, y'all. So think. It ain't illegal yet. Look at this stuff. It's the same people that are implementing things that are against us, trying to keep us down. So we must emancipate ourselves from this mental slavery and start thinking different and start making decisions based on what is right for ourselves. We can't go along to get along. We don't need to be having all these material things. We're spending our money on all these things. And, you know, when we spend our money on all these material things, thinking that we're going to be this or that because I drive this kind of car, I live in this kind of neighborhood, no, it don't make you no better, because when you look in that mirror, you still that black person that you are. And they're going to treat you like that. So it don't make no difference. So, again, you see where we came from and you see where we at right now? So, come on. Jump, leap, get out of this shit. Because it's a bunch of bullshit. Okay, start thinking for yourself. Thinking about how you can do things that will benefit yourself, your family, the nation, and the world. You know, so think. It ain't illegal yet. So I could go on and on, but today is one of my longer videos, you know, because I've been getting excited. I've been wanting to just continue talking about stuff. So, again, I want to talk about where we came from, where we at right now. It ain't no different, y'all. It ain't no different. Think about that. Think about how we're still limited for us, things that we could do. So, again, I'd like to thank everybody. Please like, please share, and subscribe. Again, thank you so much. This is Sister Nzinga from FlowinGrowin with Nzinga, and I'm grateful. And we're looking forward to next month. We will have a subject of self-care. With each of the Talk About Tuesdays in February, we will be bringing forth some information about self-love, self-care, because that's what we got to start at. We got to start from within. This is where it starts at. Working on ourselves, our whole body, the mind, body, and spirit. So I'm going to stop there. Thank you so much again for watching. Please share. Please like. Excuse me. And I'm outside. And share. So today I did good. My voice didn't drive too much, but I had this on deck just in case it did. This is a smoothie that I created, and lots of goodies in there, fruits and vegetables. So I love you all. Peace and love. I will bow out for today. Again, thank you so much. Peace and love. Love you.